Hi, Internet. As you can see by the title, I'm bored. That's literally the point of this podcast. I was just sitting around today giving myself a day off, but apparently I can't do that because I'm a workaholic. So here we are. I'm doing a podcast. Hi, Internet. I have zero idea what's going to happen. I invited my friends, but they all have jobs and responsibilities and stuff they're supposed to be doing. So we'll see. We might end up having guests on this show. Um, if not, I guess I'm just going to do what I've always done and hit the live button and see where this goes. What up? Good to know you're still watching. Cool. Immediately choked. Started his podcast, immediately choked. If that's not a metaphor for this life, no, I will never do that ever again. That's not an immediate metaphor for this podcast. Starting out and choking on a podcast where I just decided, we'll see what's the worst that could happen. Anyway, hi everybody. It's been nice, I guess, having a reason to get back on YouTube. Like, legitimately, I'm having more fun with this than I have in. I don't even know. I can't remember the last time I didn't make a video or do a live, which I haven't even done in a long time. But regardless, I can't remember the last time I was making content strictly for the purpose of making content and not like to help promote the skate company or to try to, I guess, make a point, which seems. What's up, Clipped Wings? What's up, Eve? No, I guess maybe try to make a point or something, which seems so futile in 2026 on the internet to think like I'm gonna go on the internet in front of people and try to articulate a good point, which I know, ironic, coming from a guy who looks like this. That's kind of the bit, if you haven't caught on yet. But it just seems like there's like it's almost a lost cause to try to come on here and try to make an actual point. So it has been really cool to be taken seriously as much as I ever really want to be taken seriously. I'm not doing this because I think, yeah, I know, right? Boo. I agree, Progressive. Get this clown off the stage. He's one of the friends that could be here right now, but whatever. Where was I going with that? See, now you guys are going to get a real taste of what this is because I don't have anyone here to keep me on track. This is just going to go wherever it does. Welcome to my madhouse. This is how I exist all the time. Just logged in here or just logged into fucking StreamYard so you can, whatever. We may or may not have friends here. There's a point I was trying to get to, and then Progressive fucked it up by booing me. So blame him. Everybody boo Eli in my chat or something. We should probably, because I'm a YouTuber and I was just trying to make some sort of point about how toxic YouTubers are. Now that Eli messed up my point, we should definitely probably dox him and start calling his work. That's where this should go. See, I guess I turned the phone on and my boo was for a boo, I'm here. Well, you boo for whatever you're doing. Um, on a real note, like I know it's most likely just to troll me and to just try to get some sort of reaction out of someone. But what is the actual point of coming in here with some shit from like 5 years ago and just spamming my chat with it when clearly nobody gives a fuck anymore? And the fact that you still do is kind of weird. What's going on there? Exactly. No comment. Which makes it really tough to actually want to do this consistently. You know what I mean? Like, it's so easy to just get caught up in nonsense and bullshit and, like, I guess take this personally to the point where something you were not involved in at all shakes your soul so hard, holy shit, for like 5 years that you can't move on nor forget about it. Don't let that muck phase you. No, it's not so much that it phases me. It's more so just to kind of make a point about what we're all even doing here. Like, objectively, what we're all doing here is sitting on the internet talking about things that we have a certain amount of knowledge on, be it a lot or a little, either way. Most of us are just sitting here giving our opinions on shit. And then somehow that inevitably almost always turns into things being taken personally, or things being taken out of context, or things being escalated like well beyond a fucking show, which ultimately is what this is. It's also what Voices Behind the Funhouse podcast is. Like, yes, we're talking about actual cases, we're talking about things that really happened, and we're talking about, in all reality, pretty heavy shit. But the whole point of allowing yourself to have a network and everybody gets their own TV channel now, thanks to YouTube, is entertainment value. And it's kind of crazy to me how lost that gets on people. Like, you can be the most serious reporter and you can have all the facts in the world and literally never be wrong about anything. But if it's not entertaining to watch, everybody's going to go find something else to do. Everybody's going to go make their own entertainment. That's a good place to go, Tom. I've been in a pinch more than once. Trees are very thankful. I don't know if that's the right word, but trees appreciate it. That is going to sound good out of context. Although, point being, see, if you don't mix it up a little bit and respond to random shit in the chat and make this about entertainment at the end of the day, as much as you can talk about serious things and as much as you can use this platform for good, if it's not about entertainment at the end of the day, then inevitably what's going to happen is, in order for people to keep eyeballs on themselves, they're gonna have to turn to what keeps eyeballs on yourself. There's a reason the Kardashians are the most famous people in the world, and it's not because they're good at fucking anything. As far as I can tell, they're terrible at everything they've ever tried to do. But if you put that on TV, all of a sudden everybody wants to watch because they're all dumb and all they do is sit there and argue with each other every day. And now you've made it some sort of personal goal to like, what's the word I'm looking for? It gets thrown a lot, so much on YouTube. It's another one of those buzzwords. You've made it your goal to like parasocially become the white knight for Kim Kardashian and tell me about how she's actually secretly a genius because she has like a makeup line or something. When that's the most insane thing I've ever heard. Nobody wants to admit that the human psyche is drawn to slop, drama, garbage. And the only thing I can think that is like when we were all just kind of living in caves and we were like vaguely sort of tribal, but we were also still just bashing each other on the head with rocks. I would imagine that when you heard a squabble, it got your attention so you could look behind you and not catch a stray rock to the back of your head. And now I think that's just oh shit. I talked enough shit. I Beetlejuiced him, guys. What's up?
What's up, man? I'm here. There's a vibe. There's a vibe, and I'm pulled to it. What goes on, Steve House High Internet? What's up, people in chat, which I cannot see right now? We got another super chat.
Do we?
No, I just there is that one dude, and you know who cares? He's just dropping that dude's name, and he's like having a grand old time. You know, like from my perspective, it seems to have like maybe put you in a negative vibe. But like my comment quickly after that is like, look, the internet and the people that do choose to watch us, we are just a collection, an amalgamation of everything they've ever seen us on or as, and it's up to us every moment to define and be what we are. You know, so fuck it, man. I lean into anything that's like trollish these days, unlike the days where I would literally, you know, just let it get to me. Fuck.
No, it didn't put me in a negative mood or anything like that. It more so just segued into that rant I was on. I've just been noticing a lot of like, case in point, I don't even necessarily want to get into the specifics and the politics of it, but like even this Reckless Ben Lego thing has kind of become less about the Legos and the controversy and more about a bunch of people fucking arguing on the internet. Like, where's the point of the thing? Like, if we want to use the Tony Dodge argument here, like the only reason Tony Dodge is relevant to fucking anybody is because we all started talking about Kylie Rodney. And it seems like everyone just forgets that this all started because we were trying to find a missing child. And everyone just wants to talk about the drama.
Well, I think when it comes to a platform where we're relying on human beings, which I mean, just on a primitive level, that everybody just seems to respond to that. Sadly, I wish we could find our more, you know, better primitive traits where we acknowledge we set out on the singular mission, but more often than not, because we're humans, we can't ever be singular. A linear path is probably the hardest thing to stay on, especially on YouTube. So I understand. I don't like it, but I understand the game, so to speak.
No, I definitely get it. Like, I get it, and I even see the temptation of it. I mean, it would be a lot easier for me to just be outraged about whatever I'm supposed to be mad about today. Fucking Britney Spears got a DUI, and now I'm angry about it or something. And then I could probably get a lot of views for that. But one, there's no integrity in it, and I just can't bring myself to participate in things like that. And two, it truly does bother me that a lot of these things start out with good intentions and it inevitably just devolves into nonsense. Like, if we could keep the save the children energy the whole time, we could stop people like Epstein, but we get distracted with the he said, she said, and then that's kind of what the global elite wants. Keep them fighting amongst themselves.
Well, yeah, that's something I think that we're kind of damned to be lockstepped into. It's going to take nothing short of a literal miracle for the people to ever hold a powerful elite anything accountable enough to where something changes. So, I mean, yeah, if you can tell me the ingredients to the formula fixing that, motherfucker, you got a hit on your hands. You're gonna sell 1 billion books and make $1 billion. But there is no changing humanity with all our flaws and all our good that we just every day we literally have to. And as you know, and this is I'm not preaching to you. We just make what we make, and we try to have at least a little fun with it. I suppose we keep that mission in mind. We stay impassioned by it.
I don't know if you caught kind of the beginning of that little rant I was on, but that's sort of what led into it, was me being like, where did the entertainment value in YouTube go? I just see a bunch of people fucking mad at everything all the time. Did we forget this is supposed to be entertainment? Hi, Cher.
Hey, what's up, Cher? Voice in. I'm gonna log in through the PC. I'm glad you came in. I'll be right back.
Oh, perfect timing. Look at that. We legitimately didn't plan that. Anyway,
there's a hobby haters gonna hate, fingers gonna thing. What?
I mean, the logic is there. It makes sense.
There we go.
I can't dispute that.
I can't hear anything, so bear with me. You just keep on keeping on, though.
What were you guys talking about? I didn't see before it popped up.
I can hear everything now. Continue.
It started with me rambling about having no entertainment value on YouTube, and then kind of evolved into the fact that it upsets me a little bit that even when movements, I guess you could call it, on YouTube start for like the right reasons or for good reasons, it always inevitably just turns into fucking slop drama bullshit, he said, she said content. Yeah, and that like kind of bums me out. I feel like we can do better with this platform.
It's all about, I think, how you choose to navigate that, if that's the reality, and either go against the tide or be heel, turn heel, and lean into it. Just always try to make it to where you're getting something out of it. Sometimes you got to create your own positive, or sometimes when we can take the W, when we all can, when that energy is harnessed and that initial reason we all started comes to fruition again. It's just never consistent, and that's the sad part. I feel you on that.
I don't know what you mean by turn heel. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, no, I just invented it. LLC, copyright, everybody pay me. But,
fuck. You got to talk to Triple H about that one.
Well, Triple H, motherfucking, you know what? I never could quite understand why he got so damn popular, but I'm in a
what?
Yeah,
nepotism, dude. He married the boss's daughter and then got handed down the company. Triple H kind of owns wrestling.
Well, if that's the core of the man's value, then yeah, I'm happy to say like, yeah, I don't see what the big pull is, or I guess he
glorious hair. Okay, used to be.
What was that?
It was his glorious hair. That's why us girls like him.
And as you can see, I am right there, right with him with the glorious hair bit, which is why I'm obsessed with my hair.
To be fair,
you're my age, right, Eli? Right around. So you'll remember Jake the Snake and Scary Sherry.
Oh my God, Jake the Snake Roberts, Scary Sherry. I don't remember.
What? That was his girl, and I used to want to be Scary Sherry, but she did look scary. She looked like Elvira, kind of. I think.
I love me some Elvira. She made me feel things I didn't know I could feel when I was in elementary school.
Once again, I can't relate. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's too young.
Yeah, no, I'm 26 years old.
You think none of this has anything to do with that?
But I think that if we're gonna keep a premise here, like I understand, like C-Files explaining we all really start something with a very, linear look at this is the mission and the mission must be accomplished. But we're just not in a perfect world where that's how it ever fucking goes. So you're gonna hit every bump in the road, and you just have to acclimate and make do and freestyle and evolve and all the things. Take the licks, take the bumps, and throw some back.
I'd rather not take the bumps.
I mean, depending on which bumps you're talking about here.
Yeah, I had to think about
Because
that.
again, another pro wrestling term, like sometimes you do got to take a good bump. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to lay down on the flaming table and let your friend jump on you through it, but it'll make the show better. So just fucking shut up and do it.
So
Tammy, get up here.
let me dig
Hi,
deeper.
Tammy.
All right, I know that the title is I'm bored, so this was a freestyle thing.
Yeah, I had zero play. This is already deeper than I thought we were going to get, but I don't know. Yeah, go for it.
We're the Quad Squad, man. We've Avengers Unite in this motherfucker. Like, if you were to, like, if I didn't interrupt, where do you think you would have gone with the trail of thinking that you were sharing? What was the overall, like, Forest for the Trees message there before I hopped in?
I guess ultimately just I feel like kind of the whole tide, and I know this is almost wishful thinking, but I feel like the whole atmosphere sort of could change / is changing around like not only the way people do YouTube, but the way people want to see YouTube. Like I guess with everything that's happening now surrounding every lawsuit you can think of right now, which YouTuber that's being sued did you think of? Exactly that one. It almost seems like the atmosphere is swinging back. The pendulum went from like nobody trusts mainstream media, so now everybody is only listening to YouTubers because obviously they can't be compromised because they're not bought by the mainstream media or whatever. And now I think because so many YouTubers have devolved into this same shit of just get the salacious story and make the fucking headline, it's almost swinging that pendulum back to where now people are like, oh, I don't want to even take anyone else's word for it because they're probably just spamming shit for views at this point, just like CNN is saying Orange Man bad because Orange Man bad people will watch it.
Well, I think we're seeing like the very behavior that we acknowledge in the media that makes us disgusted. We're critiquing our own species that just have a different title. So inevitably, we may have all started something in a far better way than the media did. Because, I mean, there was a time when it was just something that reported Walter Cronkite style. And that's the way it is. Just the facts, no fucking bias. We become often what we hate without even wanting to set out to do that. That's not to say that's what we are. But, looking at us as a whole, man, we're all just playing this we're playing a game. But we're trying to get little wins here and there, and we're trying to do something good. That's got to count for something. But there's never an ultimate W. We will die trying to get our ultimate W, whatever it may be for all of us.
Well, I also just find myself like, I know the three of us on panel feel this way to an extent, but like, is it that far out of the question to just use the common sense of like, oh, history repeats itself? There's a reason the mainstream media ended up like it did. What if we were all just a little more cognizant of that right now, and then we could all not do that again? And I don't know why that's not like a more relevant thing in everybody's mind.
Hypothetically, let's just say, perfect world and all, we all started to become the arbiters of like trusted honesty and all that, look at what a fraction of a minority we'd be. Everything else would still be oversaturated. And ultimately, we would be overshadowed because the algorithm is created by all types of the people that are tuning in or trying to make shit. We are chaos. We are living chaos theory. And I think just embracing chaos sometimes is the only way to go, while trying to do better, though, at the same time. I think
Hey,
both
Witchy
things can be
Mama.
inclusive. Witchy. Hello, Witchy.
Hey.
Did that make sense? You know, like we're just basically
Yeah, no, I
in
mean,
layman's terms, we're just doing the best we can with what we can and trying to have some fun while we're doing it with our frustrations.
yeah, as much as I have always kind of used this platform to be like fucking philosophical therapy for myself, like I'm also devil's advocating myself a lot of the time too, where I'm like, if we could all, there's no way, because not only are we humans in general, we're also fucking YouTubers and we all kind of have our own ego and our own thing going on. But like, as a thought experiment, we really could all just agree to like not do what CNN does and be a little better about policing ourselves for doing that and not have to get lost in the sauce of just ultimately drama bullshit is what it inevitably always leads back to.
It pays so well.
Yeah, I got
I
a
mean,
confession.
I make a lot of money, clearly. Things are going well for me.
My confession is like, you know, sometimes, yeah, sure, like inevitably you get tired of anything, everything. Like right now, I enjoy the drama, which sounds to be like the antithesis of everything I want to stand for. I enjoy saying fuck Ziggy. I enjoy going and chomping at the bit and bitching, complaining, and engaging and getting into it. Sometimes it's cathartic and sometimes it's just fun, whatever the case. And then sometimes I change course. I,
Got you. Yeah.
you know, we're in
I
a,
started
like,
off in the drama, and it was before Mark and I were like actually saying we were talking, but I got real in the Chris Watts day. I got fucking hooked, and I'm really good at roasting people. I'm too good at it, especially when I'm pissed about something. And yeah, so I got stuck in that until Mark was like one day, like, that's kind of gross. And then I realized like I didn't even feel good about it. And it took like a lot of my energy just to be so nasty and hateful every day, all day. I'll tell you, it freaking paid well. I was definitely doing better then. But when I did the Quentin Simon case a couple years ago now, well, even in Summer's case, I did drama, I guess, because it comes with dealing with the parent, but I mostly just dealt with the suspects more than the other people and had because everyone hated me at that time. So I was just like, whatever, I don't really care. Just did my own thing and kept them talking because to me that was helpful. Plus, I was told to do so by law enforcement. So I felt like I played my role in that. But yeah, drama's fun sometimes, but it's not fun all the time. It will really suck the energy out of you and make you something different.
Well, and you kind of said a couple of things there. First being like, yeah, sometimes it is fun to just like talk shit to people and blow off some steam and argue back and forth and whatever. That's the reason roast exists. Like, can we not all just sit here and fuck with each other and go back and forth and whatever? And it doesn't have to get personal, which leads into, again, what Cher said, the next part of that. It kind of gets personal, and then you end up spending way too much of your time and energy, like basically trying to defend yourself in this weird internet argument you're in.
Mm.
And then kind of to go back to the original point, it ultimately just takes away from the thing you were trying to do in the first place. I don't think Cher got into this to like argue with Dawn Wells. I think she got into this to help find a missing child.
Yeah.
Am I right? Or am I completely wrong?
No, you're right. But sometimes it is fun to argue with Don Wells.
Yeah,
Fair.
just it goes back to my point. Like, you know, if we all just started out with a good intention and it stayed that good intention, and then we get to the goal, or the goal's never met, you know, it's very linear. Life is not really linear unless you look at it like, I am born and one day I will die. There are many different things that are going to happen in that in between. So you know, shit, man, I'm with you on the embrace the chaos. And I say I'm with you because I look at you and you're wearing the Carney Army paint. I mean, you look like the manifestation of chaos. If anything,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I would assume you'd be like, all right, this is a fucking party. I'm here to, I'll be unhinged, you know, and I'll be on mission. We're human. We can be manic and feeling like you got to defend yourselves. I've learned that we don't owe that to any fucking buddy unless we feel we need to address some shit. I'm at a point where, yeah, it is a true blessing to learn not to be numb, but to learn what really fucking counts and what really matters. So make this the playground. And if somebody that watches this is down with it, boom, you got some support. You have a connection. That's why I'm still in this.
Well, and like, I do look like the embodiment of chaos, and I am legitimately, like, if you hung out with me for a day, you'd be like, oh my fuck, will you sit down for 2 seconds? Like, I'm all over the place. I thrive in skateboarding, which is only chaos. It's just this weird dance of chaos and hoping you don't get hurt. And like, I almost think it's almost like how most pro fighters don't just want to go get in a street fight because they're like, dude, I've been there. I'm really good at this. It's not even worth my time. Like, when people want to start drama, I'm like, dude, I'm really good at this. Like, I don't want to do this, but I will fucking destroy you. Please get away from me. Ultimately, I don't want to do it, but like, I've also done it a lot and I'm really good at it. And I think that's why I have such an aversion to it now, because I'm like, I know where this goes, dude.
But you know, you could easily make the conscious decision to not engage. You know, we've all played the part where we try to ignore it all until the point where it feels like it's just impossible to do that. And you know, it's just, honestly, we're the captains of this ship here, man. All facets that we've experienced are going to turn up again. Everything that is viewed like an aversion, whatever we have an aversion to, we're going to face it again. So yeah, I'm used to it.
I also don't necessarily think completely ignoring it is a way to go either. Like, I think there is a reason for it and there is room for conversation about it. I don't know. I guess I'm in a weird. I almost feel
it,
like,
man. That's why I came up. I sense it. There is a battle that happened today in your mind, and you came up here from the boredom, and you wanted to hash it out. And I think it made perfect sense in your mind. And now that you're trying to put it all out there, you're discovering that there's just so much nuance and gray. You know, we're like linear start mission, achieve mission. That rarely ever happens in life, you know, unless you're a soldier and someone gives you the order, that's the mission, go do it, and then you get the mission accomplished pat on the back. But otherwise, we're freestyling this motherfucker.
Yeah, no, I think I'm more trying to make this make sense to people. I guess it makes sense in my head, but it almost feels like I'm watching something through like a zoo window. I'm almost on the other side of the glass, just being like, this is dumb. The monkeys shouldn't be trying to kill each other in the zoo. Like, you guys should really probably stop that. But I'm just on the outside of this glass being like, I don't even know why I care about this. None of this is my problem, but I feel bad because I know some of the other monkeys who didn't do anything are going to get hurt, but like, I can't do anything about it.
'tis the very world we live in, man. And conflict is a very primal part of the human experience. So all of the little battles and conflicts, what turns out to be drama, is just us humaning out. What's up, BSR? I see you. Yes, this is a Juggalo meeting. Yes,
I've
that's
been-
Shaggy Too Dope. Yes, get the Fago.
Yeah,
Oh,
rough and ride for
jeez.
me, please.
What the fuck just happened there? Holy shit! I looked away for 2 seconds. All right.
Rockin'
Okay.
Rockin' Rye, what?
Rock and rye.
Is that all you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
They said, let me grab the Fago. I said, get me
Yeah.
rock and rye.
Listen, albino. Nope. Sorry. I don't know where that came from.
bigger.
Shep, brother, one day I'm gonna drag you on panel just because I can, or I say I can. Then
You
you'll
could
break that
start-
delusion.
You would have to
lives
answer
matter.
our group chat first.
What? I don't do group chats. That's crazy. I don't know why you'd say that. Weird. Weird stuff. Just chair emoji, okay? Chair emoji.
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, did you know that a chair emoji apparently is a big fucking deal right now? I don't know. I guess TikTok said so. The elite said so. If you go typing on the cell phone device there's a fucking chair, and that means LOL, I'm dead. We're also destroying our language actively, and we're participating, even if we're actively or not. It's there, and I used it without knowing what the fuck it was. I was just like, "Ooh, chair. What does that button do?" Oh, it
Yeah.
produces a chair.
Yeah, I had seen a couple people use it, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but it's right next to the send button. It's like they want you to use the chair thing. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
If
Wait, that's
I
because
could-
I picked that theme, Casey.
you picked it,
Oh,
I put a theme on, and for some reason that theme, I picked it because it has a walls, right? Voices behind the walls, and then I picked it, and yeah, it has the chair emoji. So
This has
now
been
I
a
want to what
psyop.
the hell.
this is all part of some conspiracy. I knew there was some reason you're trying to psyop my brain into like. Here's the success of the chair. I see it. I want to sit down. All right,
I
mission
thought
accomplished.
that's what it
motherfucker.
meant was sit down, relax. I don't
Yeah,
know. The chair.
no, it means LOL, OMG, I'm dead. Haha, clock
yeah,
it.
according to Google AI and TikTok, which both valid sources of information, it's the new like I'm dead emoji.
You want to hear something that was very prolific, even though it doesn't mean a fucking thing, from the Assassin's Creed games. I thought it was so fucking meta. I thought it was so deep. Really, it's not telling you anything crazy, but nothing is valid and everything is permitted. That was like the core message of like the first 3 games. Like
Yeah.
nothing is true, everything is true. There's so many ways I think you can apply that. I don't know why I felt like throwing that out here, but it seems applicable because I think that's how I view what I do in life sometimes. And I accept that I may rub some people the wrong way with my humor. And this is definitely how I roll on YouTube. And I'm beyond giving any fucks about channels or individuals or that go off on me or feel any kind of way. I'm in it. That's all. I'm just grateful to be in it.
Jamie
Yeah,
says the chair has 4 legs. It's a quad squad.
That fucking makes more sense, actually.
I mean, okay, yeah, I'll accept that, I guess. Yeah, no, that's the other part to it is I can't tell you how many times throughout the day I say to myself, "Oh yeah, I can just fucking do that." It turns out you can actually just do whatever you want to. I might get up here and have something to say and have a thought or whatever, but at the end of the day, like you can just do whatever you decide to do.
That's why I really lean on my mania. Like those little like 15 minutes before I clock into the soul sucking job that is probably the rest of my life, regardless of what company it is. I use every moment of manic energy. I'm going to use it. And even if it doesn't make me money, it feels productive because I like connecting and I like speaking and blah, fucking blah, blah, blah. Here I go. I can't stop. Somebody stop me. Tripod is stable as fuck, bro. We're replacing chair with tripod. Beachside.
Yeah. Yeah, objectively, tripods are more stable.
Yeah, but 4 is like my lucky number. So like fuck tripods because they remind me of 3. All right, now this is a war. I'd say I'm gonna do about 8 lives about BSR and tripods and how they're shit.
I think we're talking
Well-
different tripods.
BSR promised to take me out on a boat, so I have to side with him. You're wrong.
BSR? How dare you? You bitch. Okay. Well, here we are. Are you not entertained? I'm just manic.
I was thoroughly entertained last night when Tammy lost sound and you kept talking. Oh my gosh. She clipped part of it, but not all of it.
Just remember that's essentially how I always feel, and I'm constantly telling myself to shut the fuck up and let other people speak.
It was so good. I haven't seen her laugh like that in a while. That was so good.
Well, that's the art of the stall that I've learned. And when your co-host has no audio, you damn well better fill some dead air. So yeah, I enjoy the gift of gab.
That was kind of another reason I decided to do this. I was like, well, if nobody else can come up or whatever, I'm just here by myself. Ranting legitimately is a skill. Like, if you don't do this for a while, there was a time where I would sit down to make a video and just be like, words. Sometimes you just gotta hit the live and be like, okay, I fucking have to say things now. People are watching. Do it.
I'm proud of how comfortable I've grown with ranting, even though, like, I don't give a fuck. Some people are like, where's he looking? Why isn't he reading the chat? Like, I make it clear. I don't give a fuck, man. If I'm on a rant, I'm on a roll, and it's passing
That's
my
like
time.
me. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I've seen you during your diatribes, and by God, I love it, especially when you're angry. I don't want you to be angry, but I like it when you're angry.
Why does everyone say this? I'm gonna have to start holding knives when I'm angry or something. I gotta look.
Because it brings out a very raw, emotional, sincere part of you, which to me, you're always that. But when you're tapped into a raw emotion, especially something volatile like anger, the way you are able to utilize it, try to control it and temper it, but the things that slip through the cracks, it's the closest thing to authenticity. And I think people that are viewers enjoy authenticity. That's why Kick and IRL streams and all this shit is a buzz now. Fucking Streamer University. Are you fucking kidding? It's a bunch of people that want to watch another bunch of people just feel emotions or do shit. This is where we are. This is, it's odd time to be alive, but fuck it. Dive in.
I'm gonna beat you up so bad when I get home for saying that.
Is that that's Mark, right?
Yes.
I thought so. The beard gave it away. He looks like
okay.
Keemstar a little bit.
I didn't see that comment, and then I just heard her say that, and I was like, what the fuck did I miss?
Because when Cher gets spicy, we can all relate. See, that's what I'm saying. When we are going through the raw emotions, the sincerity of it, people just connect to that. That's why, for better or worse, when I'm on a fucking crazy nonsensical rant and I have it on that vertical whatever streaming on my phone, I love the plethora of randomness. People being like, what the fuck did I just walk into? Look at this crash out. I love it. It feeds me. It fuels me. It sustains me.
No, and that part is really fun. Like, that's one of the things I have missed about not going live for so long is interacting with the chat and just the randomness that does happen when you're on a live stream. Like, I feel like, yeah, the authenticity and just like my internet could cut right now and then fucking that would be the show. And that kind of makes it better. It does make it more authentic and more like, I guess, achievable in a way. Most people don't think they can have access to like a big studio and fancy equipment and shit, but I started doing this on my phone.
I personally love when the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
It's it's my favorite part of any stream. Honestly, I think all right, this is going to be a bombshell. I'm going to get canceled, but I'm going to say it. And that's the fucking way it is, man. I'm sorry I had to say it like that.
I heard that on the back end, and that was pretty racist, man.
All right, fuck it. I'm canceled. I've been canceled. Let's do it again. What's up, chat? You know what, chat? This is your platform too. Say some shit. Say some ish. I'll tell you what. I'll do a roast per comment. Just say some shit, and I will try to do what I can with your name.
You're giving me ideas, Witchy Mama, because I quit dabbling, as you guys all know. Some of you in here know that I quit just attacking people I didn't have time for it. I wanted to be helpful in situations, but I started doing a one and done, and those were pretty good. But with Ziggy, there ain't no such thing. So maybe,
Oh, God.
maybe we can do a after dark something. What up, Josh?
It's that guy.
Yeah, me.
Fucking douche chills all the way. This is my brother. It's funny. I said let the next person come in and I'll roast them. Well, stuck in the middle. Listen, my brother from another mother, you got another thing coming. All right, Monday through Thursday. Well, I'll tell you what. On Monday, we're going to have an episode that's, well, I don't want to say it's going to piss everybody off, but it's going to be fun. There's going to be a big open phone line, and we want to pretty much incentivize everybody and their fucking cousin to call in and hash some shit out with us. That's what we got planned for tomorrow.
Oh, I'm calling in.
Do it. Do it. Please.
Hold on, let me see if I can call Dad quick. Should we have Dad on Tuesday then, Casey?
If that's when he wants to come on. I was waiting for you to tell me when he was available, so
I'm calling him right
watching your video with Pops, listening to the Don Wells voicemail, and just big shout out to
Hey,
Papa,
Dad.
Share. Is he here right now?
I'm calling you from my work phone. I'm on podcast right now with Eli and Seafowls.
Oh, cool.
Do you want to join podcasts on Tuesday evening with Seafowls and I and start digging into the Saskatchewan serial killer you did some time with?
On Tuesday?
Tuesday night? Does that work?
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Sure.
Yeah.
Just
You're
say
on podcast
Saskatchewan for me.
You're on
Saskatchewan.
podcast right now. They can hear you.
Say Saskatchewan.
Okay, hello, everybody.
Saskatchewan. Say it. Say it, sir. Saskatchewan.
yeah.
He said it.
You said
Nice.
Saskatchewan. I was about to glaze you, by the way. You have a very stoic energy when you're on a screen. When you were listening to the Don Wells phone call, you seem like a bottle of reserved fucking power, man. You just have a presence.
He doesn't know, Dad. I uploaded a couple of videos of when we were in person together a couple of years ago on my channel.
Oh, I broke the NDA.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if you want,
Cool.
if you're bored later, you take a peek. But yeah,
It's good talking to you.
Always
Hey,
an
Dad.
honor, man.
I'm gonna get off the phone with you. 'Cause I'm at work and
All
on
right.
channel. But I'll call you tomorrow for Father's Day, of course, and then
Father?
see you on Tuesday night with Seafowls.
Sounds like fun.
What was that guy's name, Dad?
David Trinan.
David Tynan. Okay, I found some stuff. I'll keep digging between now and Tuesday. And I'm excited to hear some stories.
Sure.
Okay, love you.
Have a good night.
Dude, thanks for the call.
Bye.
Bye. Take care. Good talk.
Oops, sorry, hung up. He was saying
Fuck.
bye to you like
It's not Father's Day. Yeah, Father?
tomorrow.
What? It
Tomorrow,
is?
Father's Day. Yes.
Is that just in Canada?
No.
Oh shit! Fuck. Okay. And yes,
Yeah, I know, right?
I didn't roast you. I plugged us. I don't want to roast you now.
Oh, you should. Well, I was speaking of plugs. Yeah. Spoiler alert / teaser. The next official Voices Behind the Funhouse is going to be featuring Cher's dad.
Woo woo.
So yeah, that's going to be cool.
He is a very wise individual. He's one of the few people that I feel like I can relate to instantaneously. I remember my first phone call with him, and it's just rare when you can talk to someone and it's just like that. It's just that easy. So yeah, if you're down with that, if that sounds like something that's would be amazingly refreshing, Peep
Sounds
that.
terrible. Did I
I
not
know,
just
right? Who
spend
would
the
want
first
that?
hour of this saying I want to argue with everybody all the time?
Well, let it be forewarned. Right now on my channel, I'm in the drama phase. I am in like I'm attacking phase, and I know that opens me up. It makes me a hypocrite, but I'm okay with that. I'm human. The tides and the moods, everything changes, and I'm gonna roll with the punches. So yeah,
Anyway,
so yeah. What?
Tammy says you gotta get your talk on for the podcast. And yes, we're waiting to see. Let's go. Get it going.
Yeah, just and so I was on the show last night. I just gotta send
That's
me
so
schedule
funny.
Monday, Thursday, not available. Send me schedule for other things like days, same thing.
We
And it
don't.
can't be
I
can't
don't
be when I'm
know.
watching Interview with a Vampire.
I texted Cher earlier this morning and said, "What are we doing for the next show?" LOL. We don't have schedules. We just kind of, I don't know.
What we feel like. But that's fun though. Like you said, it's fun to have the different topics. I get a break from the Don Wells of it all. You're a little bit like Mark trying to keep me a little bit tamer on the podcast.
Not me. You must be referring to the clown guy. I
No,
don't keep
yeah,
nobody
no,
tame.
no, but I don't want to bring like no, drama over to that podcast. I want to take off like Theo Vaughn. Damn it.
Well, and I think that's like, it's easy to get caught up in the drama and the bullshit and the whatever, and then you're just kind of, whether you meant to be or not, you're just kind of boxed into one topic. Like,
Yeah, and it's up to you to break that fucker.
well, yeah, I mean, you can get out of it and do whatever you want and whatever, but it's, if you set the tone that you're coming to this channel to watch us talk about whatever topic, you're kind of boxed into that.
Mhm.
Arguably so, even with our podcast talking about like crime and specifically serial killers and stuff. But at least it's not what, we're not just gossiping about Ed Gein forever. Like, we can at least talk about this dude and that dude, and then, oh my God, new information came out about this case, and we can revisit it. And like,
Heck yeah.
I just feel like it's easy to get boxed in when it becomes, well, again, I guess personal, between like, now I have to make a response to everything this other person says.
Fuck that, man.
Sure.
And I'm not talking
Hey.
about any of us necessarily. I'm just saying, like, we all know people like that.
Yeah, there's still a couple of people to this day who I've known for years. They're literally jumping on live streams and saying, "Say my name," or they try to do some troll shit, or they'll leave a comment like they expect a reaction, and it's just like I've been over it. You know, I have no reaction to give unless I'm gonna have fun with it.
And like, I was thinking about this a little earlier too. Like, obviously you're gonna catch heat just for being on YouTube, and the nature of, I guess, specifically what this channel really, the nature of what we're talking about is emotional, and it is hostile, and it is heavy. Like, I understand emotions are gonna fly around this. I just don't see the point of trying to start, I guess, personal beefs over serial killer documentaries. Like,
There's someone for everything.
Hey, Emmett.
Emmett. ... One. I feel like that was very,
Yeah.
very unkind to just give the first part of the name. You got to give the whole damn thing.
But also,
EMIT.
Casey,
Sorry,
you've
what is it?
inspired me to like continue doing another part of my favorite thing, which is reaching out to people to get interviews and have people talking from like all different walks of life again. That was what I did before getting in the Summer Wells case, basically. But mostly murderers. But anyway, I also have interviewed some celebrities and stuff like that. But now I'm re-inspired to do it all over again for new content for the podcast.
for me personally, like on Stuck in the Middle, the phone call portion is satiating my appetite because naturally I love interviewing people, and I don't care like what the background is. I like just learning about someone else's life path or experience. So that's a big solid there. And even if like the open panel chaos on Progressive Patriot, as long as I don't get a porn bomb BBC like that one time, yeah, it's fucking. I love that. I guess I love communication, speaking clearly because I can't shut the fuck up, and this is in my blood. My father, when I was a little child, we had a little vinyl and a cassette tape and a microphone and all that shit. Man, this is in my blood. I'm gonna keep doing this shit.
No, that's the part I'm super excited for too. I've already gotten to talk to a couple people that I don't think I would have had the opportunity to if it wasn't for doing this.
BSR, we do not discuss the Discord thing. No, yeah. I'm the worst at Discord, by the way, so I'm clean.
Also, it's my nudes in the Discord, so
Oh, yeah, there is that too.
you know.
And the one like fake Swedish guy, Thor, with the fucking Polaroids. We don't know still to this day what that's about. He's still,
No,
you know what?
I'm doing it for him.
Okay, that makes sense. That tracks. Let me know the revenue on that. I'm gonna.
He said he would give me money in Swedish ladies.
I'm opening up the Discord now because by God, I think while he may be inactive, he's still fucking there. Go ahead, talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves.
I have no idea. Oh,
Just put us on the spot, Eli. Damn.
Oh, what?
The pics are tiny.
By being on a live stream and saying, "Hey, talk."
I know, right?
Who would have seen that coming? Sorry, not sorry. Why do I say that? All right.
I guess getting back to that for a second, though, that's part of this that I'm really excited for too, is to be able to talk to different people from different walks of life with different experiences and just see, like, I know where my brain goes when I look at a crime scene or I hear details about it or like whatever. I know the connections my brain makes, but it's interesting to see the connections other people make that I didn't even think about.
Right. The guy the Saskatchewan serial killer that my dad wants us to dig into and talk about, he is still alive. I found his address and all, so I am gonna reach out to him, and I'm pretty sure he'll talk to us, knowing that I'm my daughter's dad. BRB.
You're your daughter's dad? That's fucking crazy. How'd you pull that off?
I think what did she say?
I think she meant to say I'm my dad's daughter, but she said I'm my daughter's dad, which is fucking impressive, and I don't know how you did that.
I thought I heard something to that effect, which is why I was like, I misheard that. I'm not going to comment, but
the best part is, I think she has a customer. She muted her mic, so she can't even defend herself right now. We can just talk all the shit.
I did hear the beeping. Yes, we can talk all the shit, but we got a Mark watching, mindful eye there. Dude, I'm going through this Discord shit. Who are these motherfuckers? I recognize names from the way back and the way back to people who the fuck knows. By God, this just reminds me of like how as frail as it was, how united we had such a community way back when. Really, we did. It's crazy. Like, I don't want to harp on that shit. Just crazy how it all played out.
No, I do think that's part of the reason a lot of this stuff bothers me so much is because at one point we had a really cool thing going on. All we had to do was not fuck it up. And it was just like the most impossible thing ever to keep everybody not even happy, just like not bitching at each other all day.
Yeah. Well, sorry, I actually found Thor's Discord and I'm looking at messages from 2022. He's got a PFP of a fucking CG doctor, so clearly he must still be LARPing. Fascinating. I'm just, and yes, we did actually. We had an amazing fucking thing. I know, like, we all played our part, man. I may blame some people more than others, and I have my biases. I'm sure everybody else has their perspectives, but fuck, man. Like, if we all could have kept it together, who knows what could have been. But can't get lost in that sauce, man.
Yeah, no, I don't take anything personally. Honestly, most of the time, I'm kind of thankful all that shit happened because now, cut to, even off of YouTube, when I'm like thinking about potential business partners or like somebody introduces me to somebody that maybe could help with the skateboard company or something, like I kind of have all this other experience of like, okay, but what circle does this other person run in, and like who is this person aligned with, and basically where does this become tribal and devolve into he said she said we're mad at each other.
So if you're saying it's made you more cautious, then that is a W. And the whole collective experience, it's like scar tissue, man. It made us more battle ready, battle hardened.
Yeah, not even cautious. I think I can just see bullshit better. I think I got fed enough, like, oh man, just come hang out with me and all fucking. I think now I can just spot it when people start doing that. I'm like, oh, I don't want to work with you. You seem like problems.
I think we both very uniquely gained a few skills regarding knowing the fakeness when it's there, knowing when someone just wants to use you for whatever reason, their name, their agenda, their manipulation, or to set you up. Yeah, that's something I think we all definitely learned to carry with us to this fucking day.
You just had me laughing in a customer's face as I walked out there. I don't know what I said, but it was wrong.
You said you're your daughter's dad.
Yeah,
I didn't know how you pulled that off. That's impressive.
I couldn't stop laughing, and the customer was like, "All good." I was like, "Yeah, I just said something dumb." He goes, "Oh."
To be fair, though, in your line of work, I would want that person to be laughing. That seems like they're very good at their job.
You're
Right.
low-key making me miss being able to live stream while I'm at work at the counter and shit. I miss that.
Yeah, it helps pass the time.
Yeah, by God, does it ever. Oh, I found Thor's old Discord messages while you were gone.
Oh,
Yeah, like I was just going through this huge list of people that I've apparently used to fuck with. And oh my God, like here. Oh, look, there's something about CFALs.
Oh.
He be okay, CFALs. He does this a couple times now and then. He just need assurance people cares for him. It is still a very real thing though, but he is not in danger. CFALs, what did you do?
Drunk and sad.
Yeah, 2022.
Yeah, I was more than likely drunk and sad.
I have known him, and I didn't even respond. He just claps back with I have known him for quite some time. This is episode 10 or so that this is happening. Okay. Cool, man.
Well, yeah, probably. I don't know. There's a lot of things that could be in reference to.
Yeah, this is just a long session of one-sided conversation saying best we can do is to assure him that we care and love him.
By the way, I'm in no way trying to sit up here and claim I'm the voice of fucking morality and reason. Like, if anything, I've probably been worse off than a lot of people, and I'm just up here speaking from experience to like, yeah, I've been in the shit, man. It sucks. I don't want to go back there.
They actually call Mark the Beard of Reason.
The Beard of Reason.
Yeah.
Wear it with great pride, sir. You have earned this distinguished title, and that beard you must groom and keep it tethered to your soul and your mind, good sir. From a beardless to a bearded one.
Oh, bearded one. He grows a beard and knows things.
I like true shit. I have instantaneous FOMO of anybody with a beard because this is the best I can do.
Are you part Amish?
What the fuck shit?
I-
Excuse?
I mean, basically, he's from New York.
New York. New York. Queens. New York. Amish. What in the bloody?
I was just fucking with you.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I've never been called that. Oh, the great noticing. What's that? All right. Well, y'all keep on keeping on. Start saying random wonky shit. Start triggering people, or stay on mission and do something amazing. I think I'm gonna smoke a cigarette and my tum hurts. So yeah, God bless.
Have a
Maybe
good
I'll be
night.
back.
Yeah, thanks for hopping up. Well, that was Progressive Patriot, everybody. He popped up because I called him out.
What's FOBO? Fear of bozoing out.
Fear of beard obsessions.
I was just thinking obsessions.
It would be I guess this is probably how Mark feels. It would be a scary thing to have somebody just obsessed with your beard. Like, not even you, just your beard. That's a fucking horror movie waiting to happen. Good God. I can't talk yet. I'm on a live stream.
Well, that makes two of us then. I'm my daughter's father. What the fuck?
You said it. You tell me. I don't know. I was just as surprised to hear that as you were.
I didn't realize I said that till you said that as I'm walking out face to face with a customer. I was just I could not stop laughing.
I knew it too. I saw your mic cut. I was like, yeah, she can't even defend herself. I can just fucking talk shit. Great plot. I know, right?
Obsession to the beard. Ooh.
Beard, it's like the Bone Collector, but with beards. That's fucking terrifying, dude. I know what my next project is. I'll pile it on top of all my other half-finished projects.
Great plot, actually. Tammy says she's gonna come up when she's done cooking dinner if you're still alive.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know here until we're done, I guess. I don't really have much of a plan.
Why do my comments keep disappearing? Okay.
Your comments?
Well, yeah, I was trying to see like what the comments said, and I clicked on them, and they were up there. Hey, Eve, if you're still in here, I just saw you. And then they just fucking disappeared.
Cool. Thanks,
Mhm.
StreamYard. That's great.
Oh, wait. Oh, they're right there now. Hey. Okay, yeah, Tuesday night with Dad, and I'm gonna write that David Threinen, I think he said. I'm gonna write him in prison and see if we can set up an interview or talk to him somehow, get some recorded calls, maybe, whatever. I mean, ideally, if we can get him on alive, if he's allowed.
Yeah, I don't know. Is he like on parole, or is he like done with everything?
No, he's still in there. He's not gonna leave there alive. He's
Yeah, that makes sense.
70 now.
Yeah, I mean, whatever we could do, it would be interesting. Even just, get some letters back and forth, or just, I don't know, something, pick his brain a little bit. The Stuck wants to know, so that dude was celled with your dad, right?
Yep, for several years he helped my dad pass his GED.
Interesting. See, that's the kind of shit you don't think about. Like a serial killer goes to prison and then helps somebody else get their GED.
Right. Right.
Like that's the part of the story I don't not to. It's always so weird when we talk about this kind of thing because I don't ever want to like glorify somebody or excuse what they did or whatever, but at the same time, like, it seems like a pretty polite thing to do. And kind of to go back to a little bit of what you've told me about your dad, you've said he wants to try to help reach like a younger generation and save some people from going down a dumb road and like
Mhm.
do better ultimately. And it is maybe fascinating is not the right word, but I do find it very interesting how many people go from being what a lot of people would consider monsters
Just
to
thinking that.
turning that around and being like, no, I'm going to fucking help people and try to like, I guess part of it is like I need to atone for my sins or whatever, but another part of it shows kind of that humanity that Eli was talking about. Like, we're all people. You can say this is good, this is bad, this is whatever, but at the end of the day, we are all people.
Mhm.
Usually serial. Oh yeah, no, that's also the other very interesting thing about it is most of them are smart enough to understand like it's not like a serial killer gets caught up. He's like, I didn't know that was illegal. Like they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. That's something that always piqued my interest too, especially with my dad and everything, and then being a kid, being told most of my life you're just gonna end up like your dad, and basically feeling like I've had to make choices most of my life to not be that. But it does make you wonder, like, I don't know. As I get curious about, well, what I'm gonna ask David, like, what kind of childhood did you have? Most of these people don't come from great childhood. They come from trauma and abuse, and it's usually generational, like many generations. And I always wondered if that like matters or not. I don't know. Like, can you be born a monster? Like we were talking about with Glenn Rogers, where his family believes he was born a monster, but like, who the hell are they to really call that out, right? But
Well, yeah, coming from them, fucking pot kettle.
yeah,
I mean, I think to a certain extent, your environment has to have something to do with it. Cause like if you can argue this both ways, but let's say you come from a rough childhood and there's abuse and there's crime and there's drugs and whatever, like you are going to be a little more, I guess, adapted to that lifestyle. You're going to kind of think like a criminal a little bit more. So I
right.
guess in a way, you're going to be at least more prepared. Like you're going to, I feel like if somebody just, that's actually kind of a good example, like the Chris Benoit thing, where I don't think that dude was a killer. I think he just woke up one day and snapped and did that. And then when he came back to reality, he had no idea what to do with himself.
Hmm.
Whereas a lot of people who grow up in that rough environment have been around death and murder and bodies and that kind of thing. And it's not going to shake you as bad because you're kind of more numb to it.
Yeah. Hey, Linda. Except, never known clowns to be depraved, dissolute, disingenuous. No. Well,
No clowns to be depraved, dissolute,
Casey.
disingenuous, or demonstrable. I mean, John Wayne Gacy was a clown. We're not going to ever deny that, but you know, just feel like if anything, we're more literally open about it. Like everybody paints on a face they want to present to the world. I just literally fucking show you that I'm doing it.
There you go. Yeah. That's a good thing that your dad is doing now. Just today, I listened to an interview of a Mexican cartel son, and he is doing the same thing. Now, that would be interesting. Yeah, it is interesting to talk to other people that have killer parents, I guess you would say.
Yeah, is there a term for that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Should there be a term for that? That's probably the better question. Do we need to acknowledge that that happens enough that there's a term for it?
I think some people like to hide behind it, or some people just own their shit like I do. Some people also use it to benefit themselves and get themselves rich. I don't know about that, but yeah, I don't know if we need a term. I don't know. That's interesting. Now I want to look that up.
Yeah, I don't know. You always, well, I guess not always, but in a lot of cases, you hear about like, oh, this killer had. It's usually like 12 kids or something crazy. But I don't know that I've ever heard a term for even really the immediate family of like a John Wayne Gacy or a Dahmer or
Right?
which I guess also, if you're a normal person and not just a weird ass clown on the internet who likes to play thought experiment for a couple of hours, it's probably out of respect for the families.
There's probably that, but there probably is some kind of like weird club I don't know that you can join or something. I think it's weird to be a kid with a parent like that, and you know one side of your parent, and you have other people telling you something completely freaking different, and it's like, I'm 42 years old, I still can't explain it. It's so weird because you have people in your ear ever since I was basically like maybe 7. They would start be like, your dad's a POS, he's a terrible, dangerous man, and you shape up or you're going to end up in prison just like your daddy, or pulling out newspaper clips and whatever they have because they have a file on you because you're in the system because your parents in prison now. And so they have this whole file on you, and maybe you sneak in and read that file. It's like really so weird. And I cannot to this day describe that. But it made me sometimes still makes me feel like I'm like fighting myself. I can't explain it. It's just weird.
Well, I mean, I kind of get that though. I guess maybe there would be a part of you that wonders, like, is that in me too? Do I have a little bit of that?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And like, should I? Because that's all anyone ever expects of me anyway. So like, maybe I just should type deal. Like, fuck it. Like, yeah.
and I think that's a big part of a lot of this as well, is how much holy fuck, I'm having a stroke. How much of it is just straight up like that fuck it attitude of like, well, I kind of come from nothing. I don't really have a solid plan to get out of nothing. What more do I have to lose?
Yeah, because I know I'm going to end up in prison if I do this. I know it's not the right thing to do, But then there's part of me that most of my life has struggled, especially since it's thrown in your face as a kid on. That's a whole nother issue. But yeah, it's a battle within yourself. I guess the good versus evil of yourself that I think everybody is born with. And it's a matter of which side you let take over. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Could I snap one day and not know? I don't think so. Like when people say they snap and I don't know, I don't honestly like ever buy that. But also, I really don't know. I have no idea. It's always an internal thing that I'm always trying to figure out since 5 years old on.
And I was thinking about this a little bit the other day, just kind of since we've been doing this podcast and since we've been talking about this kind of stuff more and more. I almost feel the opposite. I almost feel like I wouldn't be that shocked to find myself in a position in the middle of the woods going, ah, shit, what am I going to do with this? And I think it's kind of that same thing, but the other side of it of like, one, yeah, it's what everybody expects. Fucking look at me. But two, like, I am smart enough to understand that I shouldn't do that. And that's like really bad, A, morally, and just like as a human being, you shouldn't do that. But B, like super illegal. So you shouldn't do that. But then that makes me think, like, I do talk to a lot of people where I'm like, I genuinely do not believe you have it in you. Like, if the moment came, I don't think you could. And I think that's the part I'm fascinated. That moment where it's yes or no, am I going to do this? And there's no going back. And I know there's other, like, there's circumstances where you don't mean to, or you don't think it's going to happen like that. I know there's variables here, but yeah, I guess my mind always goes back to what's going through someone's mind when they're in that position.
Go home. I'll be right back.
Oh no, now I'm left to my own devices. Hi, everybody in the chat. I used to be a lot better about actually reading people's comments and interacting and whatnot. I'm slowly warming back up to being a professional podcaster again after I have been very scatterbrained this year. If I'm being completely honest with everybody, it's 6 months, almost 7 months into the year, and I've had like 5 or 6 simultaneous projects I've been working on all at once. It's been kind of hard to navigate which one to really focus on at times. So to those of you who have been here, I appreciate you still being here. And to those of you who are new, I appreciate you being here. I promise I'm getting somewhat more organized, as contradictory as that seems, looking at this. The axe is my buddy. I actually just, funny enough, I actually just repaired / replaced the handle on my hatchet, which I do have. Shouldn't surprise anybody, but I actually just fixed my axe. Get some Adderall. I heard it really brings it. According to actual doctors, apparently it probably would. Apparently I do need to be on Ritalin or Adderall or something, but I don't want to do that because that whole recovery thing where I'm really trying not to drink and do drugs anymore. Also, I mean, I guess if I have a prescription, nobody can really say anything, but also the other part of what I do and part of some of the other projects I'm working on involve recovery and helping others with their recovery. So it seems hypocritical for me to be like, you shouldn't do drugs, I'll help you get sober, but also I do Adderall. Do you have an axe to grind? I do. I don't have a grinder. That means two things, and either way, I don't have a grinder, so all mine are ground. That's a good joke. Proud of you on the recovery side of it. Thank you. I genuinely appreciate that. That's the part of everything I'm trying to do that like truly means something to me. And not that this doesn't. Me and Cher and Tammy and Eli all put in work to make this successful. And like when I'm here, I'm 100% invested in being on the podcast and everything. But the recovery side of things is what makes me feel good about myself, which seems selfish, but I've also learned you have to be a little bit selfishly selfless in this. Like, I have to be willing to give myself to help somebody else who I know isn't quite willing to help themselves. But if I was just giving all that energy and it didn't make me feel good about myself, then I would just deplete my entire thing and be burnt out immediately.
Hey, Lou.
Well, Blue, I look for as many excuses as I possibly can to do this, yes. If they allowed me to walk into a bank like this, I absolutely would.
Can you not?
They're not real happy about it. They generally don't like the whole concealed face thing in case I rob them.
Oh man, that reminds me of this one guy, Cowboy Car Crusher. All he does on his channel, he literally takes cars and crushes them, and I don't know why, but it's so satisfying. But anyways, when the Rona, was first out in a thing, he puts on this red bandana and he goes, "You guys, I just left the bank and everyone needs to try this." He goes, "I can't believe this is legal." The fucking bandana around his face. He goes, "You guys gotta try this."
Dude, that's how I felt. I was working on a weed farm during COVID. I don't know why I hesitated to say that, but
Right, I wasn't sure if we can or not.
yeah, I was working on a weed farm during COVID, and I grew up an OG, I suppose you could say. So like everybody I knew, if they were going to take a picture next to plants, they had a mask on because you can't do that. So I always just would like put my bandana on to take pictures or film videos or whatever in the grow house. And everyone like, you can't do that. The state doesn't want you to cover your face because of fucking blah, blah, blah rules and regulations. And then COVID happens and everybody starts wearing masks. And I was like, oh, you guys have been yelling at me for like 2 fucking years.
Aussie True Crime. Hey, beautiful.
What's up, Aussie?
Woohoo, Hoosers.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like everybody should be allowed to walk around this way. I don't see the problem with it. Things are depressing. Everyone is trigger happy for real, though. Helping others helps yourself. It's a big part of recovery is helping others. It should be. I have seen kind of both sides of that where people are just in it because I guess they think it makes them look good to help people, but you can tell they don't actually care if these people get better. I don't really like that term, but yeah, whatever. You can tell their heart's not really in it. And then I've also seen the people where you can tell their heart is in it, but it's also eating them alive and like not good for their own mental health, which is a delicate balance as someone in recovery who knows I struggle with my own mental health, trying to keep up on that while also help somebody who's like having a meltdown or having a relapse or something. Like it's very fulfilling and very rewarding, but I also understand why it's not for everybody.
We can talk to my dad about his bank robbing days.
Yeah. I guess I am in the 21st century, with everybody having cameras and like everybody, basically you can track anyone wherever they're at all times. It does baffle me that there's still people doing bank robberies and like these big heists where it's like, dude, you're going to get caught.
Yeah.
This isn't Bonnie and Clyde where you can just throw on a bandana and skip town and no one will know what you look like. All right, later, Stuck. Have a good night, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your but thank you, Linda. It's I guess I'm past the point of like not bragging about it, but I don't know. I don't bring it up a lot because at this point I just feel like it's fucking good for you. You weren't supposed to get addicted to drugs anyway, idiot. You could have just been doing this the whole time and things would have been great.
Well, yeah, but life is messy. And for you to be sober in one of the messiest times of life is a huge accomplishment.
I mean, I'm also never going to hide from it. I am proud that I was at that point and now I'm not anymore, but I guess the novelty of saying I'm sober has worn off, if that makes sense. Like, it's just become a part of life, kind of. It's not really a thing I think about during the day. Yeah, I don't know. I also think that's kind of a personal choice. Like if holding yourself accountable looks like talking about your sobriety and celebrating it and telling everybody you meet, like if that helps you maintain it, fucking do it. I'm never going to tell anyone to not do something that they think is helping them. I guess it just got to a point where I had talked about it so much, I kind of forgot that not everybody just knows that. And I also forget I look like this, and people probably assume I fucking do crack sometimes. Have I ever been sailing? No. I've been on the ocean on a boat. I don't think I've ever technically been on a sailboat. Although I do have a pirate thing going on. Maybe I should invest. We need this podcast to do really well so that I can invest in a sailboat. Believe you should celebrate your yeah, you absolutely should. I'm not at all saying you shouldn't celebrate your sobriety. I guess I don't know. It's also been a while since I've talked about it publicly, so I haven't really processed how I feel about it in a while. I think the way I look at it personally is it's something I do for myself and something to not only improve my life, but keep myself happy and having a good quality of life. And then also it comes along with this tool belt that I have now that I can use to potentially help other people if they find themselves in whatever sort of situation that leads you to throwing your life away over a bottle, essentially. At least that's what I did.
Hmm. The pirate's favorite letter? R.
That's a good joke, and I don't want to blow it if that's where I think this is going.
Oh shit.
hmm It's so if this is where I think this is going, it's such a dad joke, and I love it. And if not, then you need to step up your dad jokes.
Well, I am my daughter's father, so I should learn some.
Ah, there it is.
Damn you.
The version I heard of it is one may think it's R, but it actually be the C. I know, it's fucking terrible, right? That was the appropriate response to that.
Okay.
That's awesome. I believe it does encourage others. I mean, it absolutely does. I have had multiple people, now that I'm actually really thinking about it, I have had people reach out to me and tell me I'm inspiring them to either get sober or start the company they want to start or start the project they want to do or whatever. And like, I guess at a certain point, almost for my own ego, I kind of have to take that one with a grain of salt and not let myself get too big about it. I'm happy people admire what I do, but I also don't want to think about that too much because then I might.
That's a lot on you.
Yeah, like what? It's almost like why start trying if I'm already doing?
Heck yeah, Ronnie. Well, I hate to do this. I gotta jump down and get some chores done before I can leave this beach. So I'm gonna be listening though.
All right, yeah, that's fine. This is already more of a show than I thought it was going to be when I turned it on. So yeah, thanks for hopping up.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, have a good rest of your shift, I guess. I mean, since we're here and some of you in the chat seem to be interested in this, and it has been a while since I went over this on this channel. No, yeah, a lot of what I do and a lot of what I guess plan on doing and will be doing with this channel in the future is recovery based. Didn't Tammy say she was gonna pop up? That's what Cher said, yeah, but she has the link if she wants to pop up. Yeah, she I think is coming or wants to come. Donald Trump, I'm gonna come. Trying to think of a good launching point for this, but I guess the point of this was for me to brush up on my ranting skills. That seems like the right word, sure. It was a paint pun because I look like this. Okay, she said if he's still alive when she's done with dinner. Yeah. Yeah, I'll still be on for, I don't know, a little while. Yeah, fuck it. We'll just, yeah, a lot of what I spend my free time or my time off of YouTube doing is working on the very early stages of getting established in the recovery world. And a lot of that will be, I guess, more integrated into this channel. As time goes on, we're kind of still in the beginning of that project, but a lot of what I'm doing with my skate company, and the reason I really started it in the first place, was to kind of help fund the recovery side of things, as well as I want to be able to teach skateboarding courses and filming and editing, and there's a lot of little random skills that come with skateboarding that no one ever thinks about. But point being, yeah, I want to be able to use skateboarding and video editing and photography and filming and all these kind of artsy things as tools for recovery. Especially down in fucking LA. It's hard to imagine, I know. But there's kind of a big scene for like artsy recovery. And it is hard if you're in, I don't know, a circle like mine. If you're in the entertainment atmosphere, like people assume, oh, look at him, he looks like this, and he goes to ICP concerts and he's into pro wrestling. Like, it's a very big party atmosphere around all of those things, to the point where for the first couple of years of my sobriety, I didn't even go to concerts, which is like one of my favorite things to do. That's one of the things that, to kind of go back to what Eli was saying a little bit in the beginning of the show about just accepting the chaos and sort of allowing yourself to thrive in the chaos. Being at a concert is one of those places where I can just get swept up in the crowd atmosphere and the show and the absolute chaos. But yeah, because there's so much of a party atmosphere around everything, and even like skateboard events, like you go to a contest, and after the contest, guess what? You're going to go meet everybody at the bar and probably go out for a drink with the boys, because that's what you do after a contest. So I didn't feel like there was ever a place for people in recovery to still fit into like having a social life, basically. It was kind of like when I quit drinking and partying, almost everything I knew and every world I was in just inevitably led back to that. But I also don't just want to like fucking shave my head and work in a cubicle and watch The Price is Right all weekend and be like, yep, this is fucking cool, I like this. So it was kind of hard to keep things exciting, keep things interesting in the first almost, yeah, really about the first 3-ish years of my recovery. I felt like I couldn't trust myself to go out, and I felt like I couldn't trust myself to be around anything, really, any sort of substance that was going to inevitably lead to using and then getting drunk, and then that leading to other substances and other fucking stupid situations that I didn't need to be a part of. And it took me a while to get comfortable with even when I would go to the skate park, I would purposely try to go earlier in the morning or later in the evening so that hopefully nobody would be there, so that I didn't have to go through that awkward phase of somebody offering me a hit of a joint at a skate park, which is a perfectly normal thing to do That happens at every skate park everywhere. But I was like, not even embarrassed. I guess I just didn't want to have that conversation of like, oh no, I'm sober now. I don't do this. I don't do that. But then you end up isolating yourself and being alone and being lonely, which is one of the contributing factors to drug use and relapse, both. So then I end up in this weird predicament where I don't fully trust myself to go out because I might make a bad decision and relapse. But I also don't just want to be sitting around by myself depressed all the time. And then, much like a lot of the, I don't know, not problems necessarily, but with a lot of things in my life, I've found myself looking around going, man, why is nobody doing something about this? And then realizing, I guess I can be the one to do something about it if no one else is going to. So as much as it seems, I don't know, corny or cliche or played out or whatever, to just be like, oh, I'm gonna do recovery, but I'm gonna do it differently and I'm gonna do it my way. Like, fucking everybody says that. I get it. But I do think there's room for less traditional recovery techniques and tactics. And I also think there's room for people who, like I was saying kind of at the beginning of this whole rant, I don't think there's anything wrong with celebrating sobriety, and I want people to celebrate sobriety, and I think people should be loud and proud and talk about it. But I also understand there's people who don't really want that to define them. Like, there are people who are like, yeah, okay, I had this addiction, I had my struggles, I went through a period of time in my life, but that's all it is. It was a period of time in my life. And I don't want to now have to walk around carrying this invisible stigma on my shoulder of drug addict. And I completely get that too. But at least in my experience, getting into recovery, there was a lot of talk about how to be loud and proud about it and wear it on your shoulder and kind of make it your entire identity. But I didn't hear a lot about the other side of that and about how you don't necessarily have to, I guess, accept the stigma. Like, I personally have met a lot of people who have had substance abuse issues that you would never know had a substance abuse issue unless they told you. Like, people who have kind of always had a good job, they've always had their shit together, seemingly. Like, even when their life fell apart, from the outside looking in, it never really fell apart, at least that anybody could tell. And I kind of understand how you might want to keep up appearances sometimes and not I hope this is coming off the way I'm meaning it to, but whatever. I can see how there's a time and a place where people just don't really want to dwell on it and they kind of just want to accept it as a part of their life and move forward. And I think you have to be able to respect that as well. Losing my mind. Everyone has 50 medications and they don't realize it's supposed to be a temporary fix. Yeah, that's a whole other problem, is how quick we still are to just give people a prescription instead of street substances. And that doesn't necessarily fix the problem. That's still a user using something to fix or numb or not think about a problem. Like, you don't have to make it a big celebration. Just treat yourself to something. Yeah, definitely. All it does is mask symptoms, and drugs are for you. Yeah. I agree. Throw a Mad Hatter Tea Party. That's what everybody should do. That should. Maybe not. See, and then I'm still like this. This is. I'm a very confusing human being. Trust me, I get it. I live in here. I get it. There's the part of me that genuinely wants to be a little bit more serious and a little bit more, I don't know if professional will ever be the right word to describe me, but there's the part of me that does take the recovery world very seriously, and I know it is legitimately life and death for some people. Then there's also the part of me that goes, and wouldn't it be cool if you got an Alice in Wonderland Mad Hatter style tea party at the end of rehab? No, Thief Owls, because that could be very triggering for people to want to relapse if you just take them out of rehab and put them right into a psychedelic fucking dry acid trip. Maybe let's not do that. That's why there's a disclaimer floating above me. Whatever random shit I happen to say on this podcast has nothing to do with whatever random shit I'm also doing with my life. How do you lose a huge bag of celery and bread? I mean, I don't know. I would assume the pigs got to it. Anyway, yeah, I don't really, I guess, have much more to say about that one. I do work. Yeah, I guess I can say I work in it. I do work in recovery as well, and I have made this very clear in the past, but I guess I'll put this out there again since there are a lot of new people here. I'm not a hard dude to get a hold of. I will absolutely talk with you, give you some advice, maybe help you try to get some resources. Like, on the other side of this, off air, when I'm not being a clown and trying to be funny and entertain you people, if anybody out there is struggling, genuinely do not be afraid to reach out. I know it might seem counterintuitive to reach out to this guy, but it is a big part of what I do, and I will absolutely do my best to try to help you. And if I can't, I will absolutely try to help refer you to somebody I can. Yeah, I guess kind of despite everything I just got done saying about my own personal thoughts on my own personal sobriety and recovery, much like the way I said that when I do this podcast, do you ever ride trains? Sometimes. Depends on what I'm doing and where I'm at. And if I got to skip town on the count of they're getting suspicious about all the people disappearing. The fucking ADHD brain again. No, absolutely. Just like I put 100% of my effort into the podcast when I'm on the podcast, I will also put 100% of my effort into helping somebody with recovery if that's the situation I'm in. Whatever. You guys get what I'm saying. Please don't be afraid. Please don't be afraid to reach out. That is also another part of what I do here. So, now you guys know that, I guess. I'm still waiting to see where this trains thing goes. What are you doing here? I feel like there's a bit with this, and I'm not sure what angle you're coming at me from. Dang, it's been almost 2 hours already? Deal with ADHD also and try to do it without medication and get anxiety sometimes. That's another part of it. Carney's like tramps ride. Okay, that is where you were going with that. All right. No, fair enough. I mean, yes, I have train hopped before. I actually do like train rides. It's like train hopping is fun. Yes, that's exciting and adventure, and like there's an allure to doing it. That's a reason people do it. But even like when I buy myself an actual train ticket and I get to like sit in there and not be worried about getting caught, I like train rides. Kind of like a nice car ride, but you don't have to drive. You just look out the window at the world and think, and almost gives you a chance to meditate for a while. Which actually, segues are cool. Ties right back into the comment I was just reading. Yeah, I think again, it's kind of like a what's good for me personally, and then what's good for me personally and what tools are out there. I never want to discourage anybody from at least trying medication if you genuinely think it will help. And I know people where Mr. Anti-medication is like, bro, you need to take your medication. You're fucking being weird today. You need to take your meds. I know for me personally, all roads lead to addiction. As soon as I find the one thing that gives my brain the happy chemicals, that's what I want to do forever, nonstop, until the end of time. And I have to be aware of that with everything. I have to not burn myself out on skating. I have to not burn myself out on podcasting. I have to not burn myself out on foods I like. I'll just eat the same thing for like a month straight and then never want to eat it again. Like, I'm one of those, I'm either all in or all out kind of people. So I know myself well enough and am open enough with myself that I don't think medication would be a good road for me to go down. However, I also don't have a problem with medically assisted treatment. Like, the way I see it is that recovery and sobriety is going to be a personal journey no matter what. It's always going to be your own. I can sit here and tell you what I do, and a counselor who went to college can sit here and tell you all of these tools and tricks and coping mechanisms, and your family can tell you what they would like to see of you, and the whole world can have an opinion. But ultimately, your recovery is going to be your own. So don't let me persuade you or dissuade you from anything that's going to help that. But I think if people are going to pursue medication, especially if it's down the narcotics rabbit hole, if we're talking Adderall or if we're talking some kind of like Xanax or Valium for anxiety or something, again, I think it can be a good tool, but we have to be able to be honest about that conversation and say, okay, what we're talking about here is taking somebody with addiction issues and introducing them to a substance. So, am I saying that that's going to cause a relapse every single time? Absolutely not. But there is more of a chance than somebody who just doesn't ever put themselves in that situation, I guess. Exercise is a blessing to me. A doctor would rather give you a synthetic drug. Well, yeah, now that we're on this topic, this has actually been awesome. I appreciate you guys coming in and interacting with the chat. This is always, I know Eli said it when he was up here, but genuinely, you guys can control wherever this train wreck goes. Just get me started on something in the comments and we can do this all night. But yeah, going back to the exercise is a blessing to me comment. I don't think it was 6 months into going to rehab and actually starting treatment and deciding I was going to take sobriety seriously and like really going for it this time. If the doctor put you on something, if the doctor does put you on something, we have to take it all into consideration carefully. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely at least worth not only a conversation, but this kind of ties into what I'm about to talk about. It's not only worth a conversation, but you, as the addict, have to be willing to be honest with yourself about that. So, yeah, I was probably about 6 months or so. I don't even know if it was a full 6 months into rehab and recovery and being freshly sober. And for the first time in my life, actually trying to deal with my mental health struggles and my trauma and not just hide from it and turn it off and make it disappear. So there's obviously a lot to that. And I was kind of all over the place emotionally and I wasn't sleeping. I didn't know what to do. And I decided to go to the doctor and I guess just see what my options were, basically. And I got in there and told the doctor, like, admit it, was it? Yeah, I feel you, BSR. Yeah, so I go into the doctor. I'm like, hey, man, like, having a bunch of anxiety and I'm having trouble sleeping and I'm not really sure what to do about that. I just kind of wanted to explore my options. And like, before I could even really go into very many details about anything, this dude just looks at me with a completely straight face. And he's like, so what, like Xanax or what? Like, basically, what are you looking for, kid? Here's a blank script, write it. And I was like, well, no, I'm pretty freshly into rehab and like I'm an addict and I just stopped drinking and I don't really want to go down the narcotics road, I guess. You know what? He didn't suggest a rectal exam, but I actually made a separate appointment for later on that evening after the office closed. I don't know. It was a lot cheaper. So I opted to do it at the doctor's house instead. Anyway, yeah, within a few months of me being sober, walked into a doctor's office, and this dude was ready to just hand me a blank script of Xanax or Valium or presumably whatever the fuck I wanted, which is absolutely insane. And it's not a secret. No, excuse me. It's not a secret that people can and do abuse the system to just get themselves a prescription, and then that's kind of the loophole to be like, well, I don't do fentanyl anymore, but I got this prescription and now I just eat prescription pills like candy, as if that's not just the same problem in a different form. Oh shit, what's up, Joe Barron? You're a member? Dang. Thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. At some point, I really will start doing things on this channel for members. You've probably been hearing that from me for a while, but cool. Thank you, Joe Barron. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's no secret that people abuse that system, and that's kind of a legal loophole to just keep doing drugs when you get into recovery. But for me, it was kind of mind blowing how easy that was. Like, I guess being freshly into recovery and kind of coming from the mindset that I needed to like isolate myself from any situations that would lead me into using again. It was kind of mind blowing to me how easy it was for me to just walk into a doctor's office and get legal drugs. And ever since then, I've been very averse to, at least in terms of like a primary care physician, I've been very averse to even telling those people when I have anxiety or when I have something like that. I would very much rather go to an actual like psychologist or an actual psychiatric doctor, which granted, I'm not saying they're any better. They will absolutely just write you a script as well. But I guess it just made me realize how little that's taken into consideration in day-to-day life. Like there wasn't even a questionnaire I had to fill out that's like, have you ever been diagnosed with what's the PC term for it? Substance abuse disorder. Because you can't call anybody a fucking drug addict nowadays or they get mad at you. But I didn't even have to check a box that said whether or not I've been diagnosed as an addict. They were just going to be like, here's some drugs, random person I've only met once in my life. And I was the person who had to be responsible about it and say, no, I'm actually a drug addict. I don't want any drugs. I just would like to not have anxiety and fucking be able to sleep at night. Did they ask my pronoun? They didn't, and I was actually very upset about that. They didn't offer me a rectal exam. They didn't ask my pronouns. It was just a mess. But yeah, anyway, I think that kind of, I don't know, kick-started a little bit. If you show up wearing Whoop Whoop paint, they'll probably give you Xanax. I mean, yeah. To be fair, look at me. But I guess that kind of, yeah, kind of kick-started this mindset I have of really needing to be able to advocate for yourself and really be able to be honest with yourself. Well, I guess that part of it kind of comes down to being honest with yourself as well. I was going to say being honest with yourself if you're willing to accept the fact that you are an addict and there are certain things you need to be aware of in your life, but then that just ultimately comes back to being honest with yourself. These ads make me want to play some spades. Nice. I don't know what ads you guys are getting. I can't see them. I'm not watching. Chaos, you don't say. I know. It's not like I enjoy chaos or anything. Which to tie that. Tie that in, wrap that back around a little bit. I do think that's another part of why some people end up struggling with recovery and struggling to stay sober or stay in their recovery routine. Like I've found that sometimes the word sober and the word sobriety can be used to exclude people who use medication during treatment. Getting O'Reilly ads? Hell yeah, dude. That's hilarious because the last auto shop or car shop place I went to was AutoZone and not O'Reilly. So that's hilarious. YouTube's not even picking the right auto store to promote on my channel. Where was I going with that? Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. I think sometimes people can find it hard to maintain recovery because in addiction, you do kind of get accustomed to chaos. There is no routine. There is no schedule. There's only, how do I get through the next? Sometimes it's not even day. Sometimes it's how do I get through the next couple ad. Oh no, I set the Grinder ads. I'm sponsored by, yeah. Anyway, I do think sometimes it's hard to maintain sobriety for some people because of the structure and because of the routine and because of, I guess, giving yourself these guidelines that you're supposed to stay inside of. Are we going to beef about O'Reilly's versus AutoZone now? Is that what we're doing? They tell you that you got to do this and should take this. Anything to promote the concept that you need help or you're missing something. I actually want to wrap back around to that too. Let me finish this thought and then I'll try to remember this other thought that I'm having now. Yeah. Anyway, I do think there's something to be said about getting into like skateboarding or something exciting, something chaotic, something exciting, something that gets your adrenaline going, something that stimulates your brain the way, not the same way an addiction used to, but in the way that there is that chaos and there is that unpredictability. I feel like going skateboarding or doing activities like that where you never really, you're not fully able to plan how a day of skateboarding is going to go. And I do think a lot of addicts sort of need a little bit of that. I feel like a big problem with a lot of us is that we get bored And then when we're bored, we want to do something fun. And what's fun? Things we're not supposed to do, and being naughty, and like there's an element of all of that. Yeah, there's an element in all of that as far as like going to a spot and knowing you're not supposed to be there, and like you're still being bad, but you don't have to completely destroy your life with crack, you know? All right. Do I like to garden? Yes, I actually unironically love gardening. It's one of my favorite things. They tell you that you got to do that. Yeah, right. Okay. That's what I wanted to get back to with that comment. I do think there's a sort of overtone of like you're wrong, or you're bad, or you're broken, or you're damaged, or I think a lot of that stigma comes along with being in recovery and openly admitting you're an addict and you have an issue. And I don't like that. And that's part of the reason I don't like that doctors are so quick to say, well, there's something wrong with you. Let's give you something to fix it, when there is a lot that can be done with exercise, like we've been talking about, or being creative, or yeah, I would consider myself a pretty creative guy. And I don't think a lot of people see it because it's so intense and dangerous and high energy, but 90% of skateboarding is being creative. It's looking at something and going, okay, I know every skateboarder ever will do a front board on that handrail. What's a trick that I can do that's different from everybody else? So it also brings in that element of creativity that, like, how many people you know that get off drugs or alcohol and then they immediately start like physically drawing or painting or doing some sort of actual art like that, because it keeps your mind busy and it keeps you creative and it keeps you, I mean, in a lot of ways, just distracted from the fact that you would like to do drugs. But hey, if being distracted is the thing that keeps you off drugs, then fucking be distracted your whole life. I would rather that than lose another person to fentanyl. Nice frontside flip in that video. Thank you. Still carry a board tromping around. Hell yeah. I mean, even if you just go get yourself a nice wide board and some like filmer wheels and you just got a cruiser, fuck yeah, man. It's never too late to just roll around. You can always just float around and pretend you're riding on a magic carpet around the sidewalks. That's what I do. Buds and suds, not sober, clean from opiates for 13 years. Skateboarding will always be my life. Hell yeah. I appreciate that. And fucking skateboarding will save your life. You just have to let it. And yeah, I mean, I'm like, I was kind of thinking about this the other day too, while I was just in my own mind late at night trying to get ready to calm down and actually go to sleep, which doesn't happen. But yeah, no, I don't even remember. I did it. I Beetlejuiced AutoZone into existence. Yeah, I don't even quite remember what got me started on this train of thought. But for some reason, I really wish I could remember what even kicked this all off, but whatever. For some reason, I started thinking about Steve-O and how I've seen him do a couple interviews now where he'll like get super mad at people for smoking weed around him, and he's like super anti-weed now, which is funny to think Steve-O is anti-weed. But either way, he's like super mad that people smoke weed even though he's sober. And I've never really understood that because, again, it's a two-sided coin here. I'm very well aware that if some people take one hit off a joint, that will lead to a drink, which will lead to sucking dick for crack behind a dumpster. Like, I'm well aware that that can be the thing that sets people off. However, would I rather have somebody smoke a little bit of weed or super addicted to opiates? I would rather see somebody smoke weed all day long just because inherently it's better for you. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying, oh, well, if you quit smoking crack, that's just an excuse to smoke weed all day. I don't think that's the answer either. But if Buds and Suds keeps you away from doing opiates for 13 years, I would much rather have that than just still doing opiates for the last 13 years. Dumpster party, exactly. See? Just because you're washing blood out, that's true. There could be lots of reasons for blood to get in your sheets. That sounds bad when I look like this, but genuinely, though, that's true. Things are not always as they seem. It's a quick jump from a slip to a suck. Well, what did I just get done saying? I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. We're either doing this or we're not. Which I think also, just kind of thinking out loud here as a little bit of a side note, I do think that all or nothing sort of mindset, it's been a thing in my life where multiple different people have pointed out, like, hey man, you're really black and white, you're really all or nothing, like you don't have to live in these extremes. Sounds like you didn't need to sip as much as you thought. Well, yeah, no, it has been something tells me you've been to Slab City. It's been I guess it's been closer to 10 years. It's probably been like 8-ish years. So I'm sure a lot has changed out there, but yeah, I've been around. Anyway, yeah, the whole black or white, all or nothing, 100% in or 100% out has been a thing that's caused some rifts in my life. And people have said, like, hey, man, you can meet yourself in the middle. You don't have to be all or nothing. But in terms of being on the other side of recovery and being somebody who's trying to help in recovery, I think that helps me or helps anyone. I'm not even trying to exclusively make this about me, even though it's my podcast and I'm allowed to do whatever I want. I think it gives people who are in the business of helping with recovery kind of a good, I guess, mindset or a good understanding of how somebody could be all in or all out. It's almost like that scene from is it Half Baked, where they're in rehab and fucking Chappelle is like, oh yeah, I'm addicted to marijuana, and you know, it's been so hard for me because I smoke all this weed or whatever. And Bob Saget's like, the Bob's, oh my goodness, Bob Saget is there, and he's like, what? Your fucking weed's not an addiction. You ever suck dick for coke? Like, it's that kind of a mindset where I understand some people are just a little bit into it and they like do a little bit of coke over the weekend and that's their rock bottom. But I think you also have to be able to truly understand being literally willing to throw your life away over substances. And if that mindset doesn't make any sense to you, it's going to be very hard to understand why the person who has 15 years of sobriety and a good job and a wife and kids, why would that person suddenly pick up the pipe again? Well, because it's that all or nothing mindset. They had one bad day and they went, you know what? Fuck it. It's 100% or it's not at all. You could play for Halloween candy. You absolutely could. Yeah, I think you have to sort of be able to at least understand that mindset to have any chance at all at truly being, I guess, ready. You can never really be ready for what somebody newly in recovery is going to do, but it's almost like that. Maybe that's not a great example. I was going to say it's almost like the play that the coach keeps in the back of the book that you rarely ever run, but when you need it, boy, you're happy you have it. I would rather not have to assume that every addict is going to be all or nothing. But when I assume that and I'm right, boy, it sure comes in handy. Oh, okay. A train comment makes a little bit more sense now in the beginning. And I genuinely didn't mean to come off as like, oh, the fuck does that mean? I just, A, I've had enough experience with trolls, and B, someone comes in and they're like, do you like trains? The comedian in me immediately goes, where does this joke go? What's the punchline here? 4 years into riding freight full time, Slab City, K Falls, New Orleans, Whitefish, I avoid. Yeah, there's nothing there for me but trouble. That's fair. And I think you kind of got to be able to admit that to yourself too. Like, it really is hard to leave behind certain friends or certain people maybe you got close to in active addiction, and now there is that sort of, I don't know, kinship, or for me at least, I guess I'll speak for myself. Thank you, Emmett. Yeah, I can speak for myself and say for me, especially early on, I almost kind of felt obligated to still be around a lot of the people that were in active addiction when I was getting out of it. Because when you're in addiction, a lot of the times the people you use with are like the people you trust and the people who helped you get through hard times. And there is a lot of, albeit unhealthy, there are a lot of bonds that get built there, and it can be really hard to decide, okay, for the betterment of myself, I have to cut some of these people off and get away from this environment. But at the same time, I am in a position, and I feel like this is probably a relatively normal thing in recovery. I'm in a position now. What is this? Carney life is never easy. Living out of a suitcase sucks. Honestly, I prefer it. I love being a nomad. I love living hotel room to hotel room, fucking wherever. That's, again, it goes back to the getting bored with structure. I agree. Portland is that for me. Too many homies still using. Exactly. But what I was kind of leading into there is now, and there, I'm not going to say there's like a one size fits all for this kind of thing, but I am in November this year, it will be 4 years into recovery. So what is that? Just over 3.5 years, I guess. I got to a point where the other day I got back into contact with someone that I hadn't been in contact with for a long time. It's been probably again like 8 or 9 years. It's been a minute since I've really had contact with this person. Hammock in Yellowstone, living out of a rucksack. Dude, that actually sounds pretty cool. It's getting to the point where the weather's decent. It doesn't sound like you're going to be completely freezing up there in Yellowstone. That actually sounds cool. I'm somewhat jealous. But yeah, so anyway, I reconnected with this person, and I knew this person was still in that life and still running around with the same people and doing the same things, and they have their own struggles, and I try not to hold that against anybody, but at the same time, it was better for me personally to just not be around that person. And we reconnected the other day, and I was able to help them with a pretty big step in their recovery. And ultimately, I know the choice is theirs, but if they follow through with this thing that I helped them do the other day, it has the potential to be the thing that turns their life around. And I'm really happy that not only was I able to reconnect with this person and be a little bit more comfortable kind of dipping my toe back into that world and kind of reacquainting with some old people. I mean, I'm happy about that just because they are old friends. And at the end of the day, I'm still always going to care about these people. But I'm also happy that I've gotten to a point where I feel like I can trust myself enough to go back into the fire and help the people that do want help. You know what I mean? Now I can, it's like the whole thing of when the oxygen mask comes out of the ceiling of the airplane, you're supposed to put on your own mask so that you don't pass out, and then you're actually able to help the children or the disabled or whoever needs help around you, right? It took me a little bit, but I finally got to the point where I can put my own oxygen mask on and now go in and try to help other people with theirs. And it took a little while, but if I wouldn't have allowed myself the chance to heal and get better and start to understand recovery and start to learn the world I'm in, I guess, then there's a pretty good possibility that I still Yeah, whatever. I can admit that to myself. There's still would be a possibility that I still wouldn't be, I guess, mentally prepared enough to go back and help the people that are more personal to me. Um, and that might sound, I don't know, harsh a little bit, but for me, from my perspective, and this is not a blanket statement at all, this is me talking about me specifically. I find it a little bit easier to help somebody that I either don't know at all or maybe I only know a little bit. Yeah, I find it a little bit easier to help that person than I do somebody that's like a really close friend or a family member or somebody that I called, like, we all have that friend we call a brother or a sister or whatever because we're just that close. And I think for a while it was hard for me to see my friends like that. And then that affected my mental health in a negative way. And then that kind of, I don't want to ever blame anybody else for my problems, but a part of the feelings I was trying to numb was also feeling like I was helpless to get my friends out of shitty situations. And I didn't realize it in active addiction. But at this point, I've come to realize that, yeah, I had to make the choice to be a little bit selfish and say, I can't interact with or be involved with a lot of the people I used to be because I have to get myself to a point where I can actually be helpful to them if and when they're ever ready to accept that help. Because I also understand the last thing that's going to work is telling somebody you have to do this, you don't have a choice. I tried that several times too, and guess what? Now I have multiple DUIs on my record. What is happening here? Sorry guys, I gotta okay, we're good. Oh, right, that's kind of the comment that got me off on that tangent. So, if you're still watching, not Tramp, I don't know what, I hope I'm getting your name right. Anyway, if you're still watching, yeah, there potentially could be a time, if you so choose and if you're comfortable with it, there could be a time where you feel comfortable with maybe going back to Portland and trying to reconnect with some of the old people and help them out. But I also don't want to make that sound like that's something that you should do or something that needs to be done, or like, don't let old fucking clown up here put you in a situation that's not good for you. But I don't know, maybe that's encouraging or helpful in some way to know that it is possible to get to a point where you are a little bit more comfortable with. I don't want to say being back in the same circles because I know where that road leads also, but yeah, being comfortable with interacting with some of the same people. I feel you. It's one of those weird ones. I don't know. I think ultimately it just kind of all revolves back to my absolute fascination with human psychology and like how different but how similar we all are in a lot of ways. Either way, it's interesting to me how that seems to be such a maybe not universally felt, but it seems like a lot of addicts can understand that sentiment of like, I have to choose getting myself better over being able to help other people. But then it also seems so counterintuitive to a lot of people who have never actually struggled with addiction issues. Like, I have had people, I know a lot of you understand what I'm saying about having to put yourself first and about not letting your want to help others in recovery be the downfall of your own. I know a lot of people understand what I'm saying when I say that, but I've also had on the other side of that coin, I've also had people look at me like I'm insane and be like, what do you mean? How is it going to be bad for your mental health to try to help other people? And it's like, well, because if you actually care about something and you put your time and energy into it, and then that person makes a mistake, which we all do in recovery, if you're not in a good spot to handle that, you're not in a good spot to help them handle that. And then it's that whole shit show of everything I was just describing. This has been really cool. I agree. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, I mean, it's as much as it's funny because I act like, oh, I'm so edgy and like, oh, look at me, fucking crazy clown up here. La, la, la. And like, I'm definitely kind of a weird dude. I'm absolutely not denying that. But then it feels like a lot of my hot takes, a lot of things are like, I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of very common sense takes on things. But then when I say stuff like that, people get mad. And I almost don't even know if some of it is like fake mad just because it's the internet and you have to have an opinion. Or if like just genuinely looking at recovery as something a little bit amorphous and looking at things as what they are instead of what they're supposed to be is like a fucking crazy take in 2026. Well said. Friends are chapters in our lives. Some are definitely. I think I do agree with that, but I think I would add well, I guess you could argue that's kind of the same point. I was going to say you could add friends are chapters in your life, but I almost see them more like building blocks. Like, for example, just randomly, again, kind of thinking out loud here, going back a little bit to what Eli, Progressive Patriot, and I were talking about in the beginning. There are certain friends that I made and lost here on YouTube in the relatively short time that I've been doing this podcast / making content, whatever you want to call what I do. Yeah, there have been certain friends that have come and gone, and I don't think we'll ever be friends again. I don't really have any interest in being friends again. That was sort of a chapter in my life that's in the past, and I don't think I'll ever go back to that. However, those lessons and those experiences are still something that I keep to this day, and there are still things, there are certain situations where people that I will no longer be friends with did step up at a certain time and did do something respectable. And I do still hold some of that in my, I don't know, repertoire of like, when I'm thinking about friendship and I'm thinking about like, how far are people willing to go for me? Not that I expect anyone to do anything for me ever, but in terms of friendship, like, I think even people you're not friends with anymore and you never intend on being friends with anymore, I think there's still sort of lessons and there's still situations you can take and be like, well, damn, now that I'm in this similar situation, I don't have a friend doing something like that other person did that one time. And that was really cool. And not that you should base anyone's, I guess, value or position in your life based off of anyone else. But you can still take experiences and go, you know what? That's something that I do want to look for in a friend. And like, there is that one quality that I did really like. And you don't necessarily have to say, okay, well, that's over. I'm never going to notice any of these other similarities again. But on the flip side of that coin, also, kind of like I was just saying, you can't be so wrapped up in the way things used to be that you don't allow yourself to adapt and be present for the way things are currently. Yeah. Just trying to see if I had any last second things to add on to that. But no, I think I've pretty well made my point with that. But this has been super fun. It is pushing that 3-hour mark, which not like I have anything to do for the rest of the night, but I do think I might go ahead and start kind of wrapping this one up. Tammy, if you are still watching and you did still want to hop up, I guess send me a message. I can keep this going for a little bit. Not trying to like run away from you, but also I know you're doing stuff. I don't know, whatever. kind of lost my train of thought on that. I'm also running out of steam a little bit. 3 hours is a long time, especially to just make stuff up as you go along. But no, this was awesome. And I genuinely do appreciate all of you guys tuning in and supporting. Sometimes people are for a reason, a lesson, a chapter, just like a relationship. But not many have loyalty anymore. That's also a very big thing to look for that seems to be incredibly fleeting, especially in the world of YouTubers and social media personalities and egos and fucking the whole weird world that being an internet personality is. Thank you for sharing your experience. Well, yeah, like I talked about a little bit, and I don't like to suck my own dick about it too much, but not only do I think it's good to share our experiences so that other people can learn from them, and maybe other people don't have to go down the same roads we went down. But I also have been told by several different people that my experience and what I'm trying to do has inspired them, and it has gave them that push to take the next step on whatever it is they're trying to do with their lives. I've had people tell me a bunch of random shit I've inspired them to do. So I do think that it is important, and I think you do have to be open and honest and willing to share your experience and talk about it. But I guess I can also admit that I did get a little, I don't know, preachy about it for a while. There was a little while there where this channel was almost exclusively about my recovery, and rightfully so. Some people start to think you're a little pretentious when your whole thing is, look at me, I don't do drugs anymore. Like, fucking cool, man. There's a lot of people that never did drugs in the first place. So yeah, as much as I do, as much as I try to be humble about it, I don't think I'm better than anyone for being in recovery. I do think there's a time and place to talk about your experiences and try to help others with their issues they may have going on. And yeah, I didn't necessarily expect to be delving into all of that on this podcast, but no, I think it was good. And again, that's kind of where the chat goes, and the chat can absolutely dictate what kind of a show this is. That's part of the fun. And I guess on that note, since there are a lot of you who are new here and maybe don't know a whole lot about my past, I guess, my story, at some point we keep getting distracted by actual topics to do on the show. But Cher and I did have the idea to kind of interview each other a little bit and sort of introduce myself more to the people who are new to me, and introduce Cher to the people who maybe found her through me, and just kind of give our backgrounds a little bit and maybe try to answer some of the questions you guys might have about us. So we do plan on doing that at some point eventually. We keep saying we're going to do that and then finding other cool topics to actually talk about, so we never seem to get there, but that is something we have planned. So I guess if you guys do want to see a little bit more of my personal story and or shares personal story, let us know in our comments sections so that we know that's something you guys want to do. What up, Dukes? You came in kind of at the end, or I don't know if you've been here the whole time, but anyway, yeah, I'm definitely more than willing to share my story. I just kind of haven't for a while. I guess I've been focusing more on other people's stories. Oh, Tammy's out there being a hero, saving people from fires and just being completely awesome and better than all of us. All right. Well, hopefully she's safe. I hope that I don't know if you should say I hope that goes well when you're talking about a fire call, but I hope everybody is safe and I hope it's not too crazy. And thank you, Tammy, for being awesome and actually saving people's lives on a daily basis. Yeah, the interviewing each other thing, that's a plan that we have. And also, I genuinely enjoyed this. I forgot how much fun it can be when do that next after your dad. All right. Yeah, I'm up for it really whenever. I just keep every time Cher and I talk about what's going to happen on the podcast, this is literally how that conversation goes. Hey, should we pick a topic for our show? Have you heard about this thing? No, that sounds interesting. We can talk about that. Cool. And then that's literally how we decide what show we're doing for you guys. So, but yeah, we can get to that here soonish, whenever we get to it. But it was really fun just hitting that live button and seeing where this episode went. That was also a big part of what I used to do. This used to kind of be my therapy. So yeah, I might start just popping on here randomly when I'm bored or whatever. Yeah, spur of the moment is right up your alley. Exactly. The battle axe. So yeah, I think I'm going to be doing this. I don't know. I don't want to commit to any kind of solo show schedule, but I definitely want to keep doing this. As well as, I guess now might be a decent time to address that. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you do by now. For those of you who don't know, I also run a skateboard company where I sell skateboards and skateboard accessories, which right now is mostly just skateboards and t-shirts. But yeah, I do have a skateboard brand that I started in pursuit of all of this, and I kind of jumped the gun on myself a little bit. I started this brand before I knew what I was getting myself into. So now that I'm whatever, I'll just explain it really quick. You see, what had happened was I put in my first order of skateboards, which take 5 or almost said 5 months, not that long. They take 5 weeks from when I put in the order to actually be manufactured. So I was trying to plan things with that gap in mind between orders. Even if I order the day I sell the last board, it's going to take 5 weeks to make. There's nothing I can do to speed that process up. So in the process of launching my first run of boards, I did not make nearly enough and I sold out pretty quick, which is a good problem to have but still a problem due to the fact that I then had to tell everybody, hey, if you want to skateboard, you're going to have to wait 5 weeks. So I've been trying to negate that problem before I start really pushing the skateboards again. Because if I get people to start buying them and I start having them available, I don't want to have to tell people, sorry, you're going to have to wait almost 2 months to get a skateboard. But I think I have a solution to that worked out now. So, those of you who are on this channel because of my skateboard brand and to watch my skateboard content, I am getting back into that too. I never stopped skating. I just felt like I kind of felt like I was promoting a product I didn't have. So then I was like, I don't know how I feel about trying to even get people to pre-order something that I don't necessarily have yet. So I did unfortunately take a little bit of a break. I've been doing a lot of things in the background to make the merch super awesome for you guys. But I haven't been promoting it as much, and that's why. I kind of felt like I was borderline falsely promoting something that I didn't really have. But now that I have an answer to it, I personally feel a little bit better about promoting it and knowing that even if it takes a little bit of time to get custom boards, yeah, exactly. Just like that comment says, even if the boards take a little while, if they truly want a CFALS skateboard, that's just kind of something you have to deal with. But I didn't want this to be a repeating cycle where I'm like, hey, I have skateboards. And then by the time that's a well-known thing, they're already sold out again. And then people never know what to expect with that. So if you have been looking on the website and you have noticed that it says the skateboard decks are sold out, that will be changing here pretty soon. I mean, I'm not going to fucking count my eggs before they hatch here, but the merch store side of things and the skateboard company side of things is also being figured out. So if you're here supporting me because of that, I appreciate you. Thank you for kind of bearing with me on that one and being patient. The fuck was that? There's ghosts in my house. Yeah, thank you for bearing with me on that one and kind of being patient. And when I do sort of do a relaunch, if you will, I'm going to have a bunch more new cool stuff on the way. So I promise, if you've been waiting for a while, I'm going to do my best to make it worth it. But either way, I genuinely appreciate all the support. Even if you're just watching the podcast for free, hit the like button, tell some people about the podcast. There should be a hype button down there. Hit that. Do all of the YouTube stuff so we can keep this thing going and so that Cher and I can bring you more interviews and more guests on the show and just be able to do more cool stuff. And ultimately, at the end of the day, like kind of this episode ended up accidentally being about, by helping me, supporting me, but whatever, everything I'm doing ultimately leads back to the road of recovery. So if that is something that you're, I don't know, passionate about or something you would like to support in your own way, all of my business ventures, although they are several separate entities, all ultimately culminate into helping support me doing what I want to do. which is a lot of different shit, albeit either way, supporting the board company or supporting the podcast also helps support me be able to support others in their recovery. So it's a whole big thing of help me, help everybody, help yourself. If I win, we all win. So let's all win together. And I appreciate you being a winner with me. Anyway, do all the YouTube buttons, the likes, the hype, the subscribe, the comments, share the videos, do all the stuff. Make sure you're notified so that you know when I do these sort of random solo things again, or when Cher and I are doing Voices Behind the Funhouse, or Barter is making a comeback, and I'm very happy about that. Yeah, to stay notified so you know. What's up, CJ? Hello and good night. It's good to see you. I hope your migraine is feeling better from the other day. Thank you for being here. That's a straight up OG. That's one of the people who's been here from the beginning. And one of the people I say thank you for bearing with me, because I know this is like the 4th or 5th time you've had to bear with me just disappearing from YouTube for a little bit. So thank you. Yeah, anyway, do all the stuff down there. Make sure you're notified so you know when I'm doing stuff, so you know when Cher and I are doing stuff, or the whole squad. And also, if you're just interested in watching a cool skate video now and again, those are going to be happening a little bit more often as well. So, lots of cool content coming, lots of cool merch coming. I've said this a few times now, but it's still the truth. I am so much more re-energized on YouTube than I've been in a long time. And I would very much like to keep that going. And you wonderful people who support what we do here are a big part of the reason that keeps me No, I guess that makes sense. I've been talking too long. Sentences that make sense are starting to not make sense to me. Everybody here being so supportive and awesome is a big part of the reason that I want to even keep doing this in the first place. I love interacting with people. I love the chat. I love seeing people support what we do, and even just knowing that I can give you a couple hours outside of whatever it is your normal life is, that's a lot of the things that make this worth it to me. So I appreciate you for supporting and keeping this fun and keeping this interesting. And I know I want to do this for a very long time. So hopefully you guys want to watch for a long time. And mostly I just appreciate everyone tuning in and listening to me fucking ramble about whatever for a while. So, like I always say, don't ever let anyone try to steal your voice. Don't ever let anyone try to use your story against you. I hope everybody has an awesome night. Sounds like Cher and I will be back on we'll for sure be back on Tuesday. We've set that date, but we'll be back on Tuesday with a special guest. Also keep an eye out on obviously Cher's channel, Voices Behind the Wall. Keep an eye out on Progressive Patriots / Stuck in the Middle. Keep an eye out on Barnes and Noble True Crime Time and Through the Looking Glass Tarot, both of Tammy's channels. Yeah, I think that's about it. Stay tuned for whatever we're all going to do next. And I appreciate you guys. Have a good night. And until the next one, much love and peace out, Carney Army.